one I wanted to talk about how I'm busy and I don't really know what to do about that. I need to come up with some kind of a strategy to, I don't know, control the busyness. I just don't know what to do. See, on the one hand, I don't mind being busy because I feel like being busy is good. It's better than just like wasting time sitting around doing nothing. I mean, that's half the reason why I started these YouTube channels I have, because I used to just watch movies a lot in my free time. I'd work, go home, and just watch movies, and I don't know, it kind of felt like a waste of time. And then I'd work side jobs to try to make a little extra money. Not like it was making a huge difference, but it was also so that way then I could feel like I was doing something productive. Instead of just being home, I was at a job, working. And maybe it's not productive for me per se, but it would be productive for like the company. You know, they have an employee, they're able to have business going because somebody's there. I know it's kind of a stupid thought process, especially because, you know, it's a minimum wage job, so I'm making dick money while the owner's probably wasn't making that decent actually, now that I think about it. He was probably making dick too, having me there. But still, the potential for him was much greater than the potential for me. And, that's kind of why I used to do that stuff. Stupid people on the highway. Ugh. I mean, I could slow down, truck guy. And I always make these when I'm on the driving, I'm on the highway, and it's a crappy strip where you got all kinds of dick bags that don't know how to drive right, and it's so annoying. I get this stupid trailer truck that, you know, on the hills, they go slow, so then you go to pass it, and then, of course, you get all these losers who creep up behind you because, you know, you think they have to go 90 on the highway, even though speed limits are 65. And then you get this idiot truck, you know, barely moving up the hill. Not his fault, it's the truck's fault, but still. And then what, you're going to try to box me in? So then I cut him off, sort of, so I can get back in the travel lane, because I'm not trying to race you, dickhead. And then he puts his highs on me. And I wanted to do it back to him, but I'm like, what difference is it going to make? He's in a stupid truck, he ain't going to see it. Anyways, that's why that story sucked right there, because I was distracted by dealing with dick holes. But as I was saying, that's why I like to stay busy. And now I stay busy too with my YouTubes. And, And then I've recently gotten even more busy. Now I have a decent second job. I work out of college, being a tutor. I actually haven't tutored anybody yet, so for now, this is actually a fantastic side job. I'm getting paid to literally just sit there. Well, I'm not really just sitting there. I try to stay busy. I've been going over the material that I'm supposed to be tutoring just so that it's fresh, and whenever I do get a student, I'm not totally lost in the dark, because, I mean, the stuff I'm tutoring is math, and I'm good at math, but I haven't really looked at it in a while. It's been since 2015. It's when I graduated with that degree, degree number 3, and I just never was able to have any success with finding a job. I applied and it never happened. And I was starting to lose hope. I figured, I guess this is not something that's going to happen for me. I guess it's not in my cards to be a tutor or a teacher. I prefer to have my own class, but, you know, being a tutor is fine as well. It gets my foot in the door, so to speak. Maybe something will open, and something better will open, and I can take that. But anyway, I was starting to lose hope, and then randomly out of nowhere, the guy who is my supervisor now sent me an email and was like, hey, you know, I've noticed that you've applied here before in the past, which I have, I think 4 times. And he's like, I was just reaching out to see if you're still interested. And I was like, holy crap. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap, is this real? Is this actually finally happening right as I start to lose hope? Is that all I had to do was give up years ago? and it would have happened sooner? But yeah, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm absolutely interested. And so, I had the interview, and, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Funnily? Like funny, but funnily, you know what I mean? I thought I did bad. Like, the whole interview, I thought I did good. I was trying to project confidence. I was answering the questions. Honestly, since I kind of gave up on even having this ever happen, I was like, whatever. If they don't hire me, it don't matter. At least I finally got an interview. You know, that's some progress. And, then it came the time to do a mock tutor session, and I was like, all right, I was nervous because I was like, this is awkward. Like, these people obviously are good. They know what they're doing. Like, they are tutors, and I'm like, this is weird. I'm a rookie. Like, I'm just super awkward and uncomfortable all the time. So I didn't really want to do this in front of pros, you know what I mean? But I was like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to be part of the interview. I knew it. And sure enough, it happened. I had to do 2 mock tutoring sessions. And, the first one I felt like I absolutely screwed up on. Totally butchered it. I was getting confused. I was getting nervous. So the nervousness and the confusion were piling on top of each other, just making things go worse. And then I was like, God dang. It was just like when I got my license, you know. I had the one that they always talked about, the angel of death or whatever they called it. The one that they said failed a lot because she didn't want kids driving. And, of course, I got her. And she took me to a parking lot that had slanted parking spots. Well, when you're learning how to drive, you don't park in, or reverse back in park, whatever I'm trying to say, in slanted spots. You go in straight spots. So she takes me to this parking lot, and I'm like, what the heck? You got to be kidding me right now. So I'm like, all right, just think this through. I can do this. And I'm like, okay, so the normal protocol is, you crack your steering wheel, get straight. So I'm like, okay, these are slanted. Don't get straight. Just try to maintain like a 45. And I get in, and I was in the spot, but I was on the line. So she has me open the door and tell her, I'm like, well, I'm in the spot, but I'm on the line. She's like, okay, well, pull forward and fix it. And it just got worse. Somehow, every time I pull forward and fix it, I ended up getting straight. So now I'm like straight in the spot. You know what I mean? Like, it's a slanted spot, but I'm straight. And I'm like, how did this even happen? I didn't turn the wheel that much. And then she just had me give up. I was okay, that was enough attempts. We can head back to the, I think we're going back to the DMV or something. I don't know. And then she wanted me to take a left. And because I was so distraught by how I screwed up at back in parking, because it was slanted, I knew if it was straight, I would have been perfect. But because it was slanted, it threw me off. And so I knew I probably failed because I didn't do that right. So then when she said take the left, I screwed up on that too and ended up going straight. And so, yeah, ended up failing the first time, all because of a stupid slanted parking spot. Well, anyways, like I said, it compounded and made more problems over time as I was failing more and everything. And that's what I felt like was happening during my mock tutor session on the first round. I knew I screwed up, and then I started getting nervous, and then I just knew it was getting worse. And yeah. And then the second one came, and I was like, God, I'm going to do so terrible at this. I'm already worked up from doing terrible the first round. And I feel like I did okay, because at least the second question was a lot easier. It was something like to figure out a percentage of something. Find out 60% of like 120 or something. I was like, okay, this is easy. I do percentages all the time, just in personal life, like figuring out tax when I go to buy something, or figuring out how much I should leave for a tip at a restaurant or whatever. So I'm like, all right, this is simple, cool. So I did it, but then after they tried to trick me and they asked me like these questions about why the percent is a number, like when you do the math out, say it's 100, you have to find 60% of 100 just for an easy number right now. You do 60 divided by 100, which would give you 0.6, but then you move the decimal point over to 2, that way then you get 60. So 60% of 100 is 60. So then he's trying to ask me, well, why is it not just 0.6 like it says? So then I'm like, God, I know why, but like it's one of those things that you just know, but when it comes time to explain it, it's like, how do I explain this? You know what I mean? It's like drinking out of a straw or something. You know how to use a straw, but if you had to explain to somebody, it's like, would you be able to do it? I don't know, you put it in your mouth and just suck on it. I don't know, it just works. Well, that's like the same situation with this. It was like, I don't know why you do that. You just do. I mean, I do know because it's percent. So percent in Latin or something is centile. And then that's where I started to stumble. I'm like, wait, now I'm translating this. And I'm like, what am I talking about? And then I'm like, well, there's 2 zeros in the 100, so you got to move the decimal place over. And I'm like, but now I need to make this make sense. If this was a real student, they'd be getting so confused right now. So now I was like, great, I had a nice easy one, and now all of a sudden it got screwed up, and now so I thought for sure they weren't going to hire me. Well, lo and behold, I ended up getting the call. It was a couple weeks later, like he said it would be, and I figured it was going to be bad news, because he said, we'll give you a call either way. So I got the call. First, he called me, and it was weird timing. Like, I had just not been around my phone for like 5 seconds. I think it was, I got home from work, I put my phone in my back pocket, I went upstairs to my apartment, I opened the door, I take the phone out of my pocket to throw it on my rocking chair like I always do, and I saw there was a missed call. And I'm like, seriously? Somebody called me while I went up my stairs? And then I saw it was the school. And I was like, oh boy, here it is. Probably going to tell me that they don't, they passed me, they found better candidates or whatever, those usual way to phrase things. And instead, they were like, well, we decided that we'd like to move forward with you. And I was like, holy crap, are you serious? This really is happening right now? I screwed up at the dang interview, and you still want to give me a shot? Oh, okay. And I was like, geez, it only took 8 years for this to happen as well. Oh my God, way too long. I thought I'd just get the interview. I got the job. So yeah, it was very exciting, very awesome, very unexpected. The whole situation. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting to get an interview. Wasn't expecting to get the job after I got the interview. But anyways, that leads to what I'm talking about now. All right, sorry for this sudden jolt, random juxtaposition of how the story was going. I had basically recorded, I don't know, 3/4 of the episode. Like, I had done a lot more than just this initial 12 minutes or whatever it's been. But I didn't realize that the dang phone cut me off. Like I said, I usually do these while driving, and so typically I'm kind of just holding my phone, kind of just low enough. I don't want like a cop or anything to see that I'm talking what would look like on the phone. So anyways, somebody had tried to call me or something, and even though I turn off call notifications, it's still, I don't know, because I didn't have Do Not Disturb enabled, it overrode and it interfered with my recording. So yeah, I lost a whole ton of my recording, and I'm, after re-listening to it, I'm like, geez, I'm right at the beginning still. So anyways, I kind of lost my train of thought on that as well, because, these are all freestyled. I don't really plan anything out. I just kind of come up with a topic and then talk about it. So yeah, I'm going to try my best to pick up where I left off and then just carry on from there. So anyways, where this thing just left off, I said something like, I was happy about getting this job doing the tutoring at the college, but then there was some stuff that I had concerns with, which was basically the whole point of this particular cast. And basically, it's just that I'm super busy now, and it just puts me in a position where I'm like, ugh, I don't know what to do. Like, there's a lot of angles to what I want to do, but I'm so busy I can't do any of it. Like, for one, all winter I look forward to it getting warmer so I can exercise. I like to go for walks at night at the track. There's a school. I live near a school. Obviously, there's a track. All schools have tracks. And it's just super relaxing to go at night. You just walk in there by yourself. You hear the crickets and all that. In summer, they get the sprinklers on, so you hear the water just going. I don't really know what to call it. It's not really a sprinkler. It just kind of like mists water out of the valves. But you just hear those, and it's just super relaxing. And like, now it's starting to kind of get warmer. But I'm super busy. I don't have time to be going for a walk. Like, I live by myself, so I work a whole long day between my two jobs. I get up at 6 in the morning, 5:20 in the morning, depending on the day. Well, 6:40 or 5:20, depending on the day. And then I'm working until like 8 at night. But then the school I'm at is an hour. Well, no, it's not an hour away. It's like half hour or so away, depending on traffic and all that. So then I don't get home until like 8:45, and it's like, oh my God. Like, I don't want to be exercising now. I just spent the whole day working. I want to kind of find something to do to relax. But then I'm like, I need to exercise. I'm bulky. I don't want to look or feel like this anymore. But I'm like, when do I have time for it? I don't know. It's stuff I think about. So then I'm like, well, it's getting nicer. I can go with my daughter to the park, which I do. But I'm like, is that really enough, though? A couple hours at the park? Is that really going to cut it as good exercise? Not really. And then I think about the weekends when I don't have her. I'm like, maybe I could exercise then. But then I'm like, again, every other weekend, is that really going to cut it either? No. Unless I'm doing like some extreme hardcore stuff and I'm working out like all day, then maybe it'll cut it. But if I'm just doing regular exercise twice every other week, that's pointless. So I don't know. Then I think about like my video games. I like to play video games. I call myself on Twitter an OG gamer because I've been playing since the days of NES, when NES was the relevant system. I mean, you could go to the store and still buy NES games, and I was playing since then. And it's my thing, you know. I like to collect games, play games, read gaming magazines. Geez, for fun all the time, I just look up reviews of random games on Metacritic. I look up tons of it. Sometimes I look up reviews for games that I'm planning on getting. Sometimes it's for games that I did just buy, like random games that you never really heard of, that I find at GameStop, and I'm like, man, buy this, like what's it called? Trubberrook? I don't know. Some random game on Switch. And then after I buy it, I'm like, well, what's this game all about? So I look it up. But then there's other times I just randomly think of a game like God of War 3, and I'm like, you know, I really like that game. I wonder what Metacritic had to say. And then I just go and look it up. God of War 3, PlayStation 3, Metacritic. Oh, okay, yeah, they agreed with me. I don't really know offhand what they gave it, but I'm sure overall it's going to be like a 90-something. But yeah, so like, gaming is kind of my thing. But then I'm so busy, I don't really get time to play my games anymore. Again, it goes back to when I don't have my daughter. It's like Saturdays. On the weekends I don't have her. I might be able to sneak in like an hour or two of playing a game. But it's like, I don't want to do just that. I want to do every day. Or maybe not every day, but, you know, more than just one day a week. I have so many games I want to play. I just got Amazing Spider-Man 2 on 360. I want to play that. I just started playing Lego Batman 2 on 360. But I don't have time for either one. Here's 2 games I want to play, but I don't have time for either one. You know, then if you go to, let's say, my 3DS. Well, I've been doing like a Nuzlocke, if you will. I'm kind of cheating in a way because I'm just way over-leveling my characters. But still, I'm doing a Nuzlocke in Omega Ruby. I want to play that. I want to play Yokai Watch. I want to play Mario and Luigi, what is it, Paper Jam? I want to play, what else did I get recently that I'm interested in? Majora's Mask. Then on regular DS, I want to play Mario and Donkey Kong Mini Mayhem, or whatever that's called. I also have one of the Mario and Luigi's on that I want to play. I want to play Heart Gold. I want to play, what do I have? I think I have white version out of Pokemon Black and White. I think I have white. Like, I want to play all these games, but it's like, what, one day, couple hours every other week? I got 12 games to choose from, and I can... So it sucks. I want to have more time to play more regularly. Even on my PSP, well, my PSP Go, which ironically is actually a super awesome system, probably one of my favorites, which I say ironic because I am not about digital downloading stuff. First off, I don't have internet, and second off, I like physical copies. A digitally downloaded game is nothing. You have nothing. And PSP Go is all about digitally downloading your games and digitally having them on the console, but it actually kind of worked out. I think that's cool. It gives me like, you know, I think I have only 12 games on it because I filled up the memory, and then, you know, PSP Go had a stupid memory card. It wasn't something normal like a regular, whatever they're called now, micro SD card. They had like a special M2 card or some nonsense. And so I was like, well, what the heck good is this? I can't find this anywhere. So I never really could expand the memory to get more games, but I always wanted to. Ah, crap. That crap was kind of a ad-lib, if you will. Like I said, I always do these while I'm driving. I'm on the highway, I was passing a couple cars, and then I didn't realize I was far enough that I could go in the travel lane, and of course the dickbag behind me goes in the travel lane to pass me, so now I'm like stuck in the passing lane. Like, yes, idiot, this is what I want. Just be like a dick and just kind of casually high beam me or something. Don't take over the travel lane so now I'm stuck in the passing lane. Like, yeah, because that's where I'm trying to be. I just didn't realize I was far enough. Ugh. Anyways, back to the main story. Wow, that's even more annoying. This cockbag just... Well, I don't know. I was going to say just got off the very next exit. But I suppose if you're stuck behind me in the passing lane and I wasn't going fast enough and you knew your exit was coming, then I guess that makes sense that he did what he did. I don't know. Anyways, back to the main story. So, yeah, I ended up actually liking the PSP Go because it's pretty cool. I have a ton of games in my, well, I'd say in my pocket, but by the time I got my PSP Go, I was driving, so I never really had that in my pocket, per se. But still, there's 12 games right there. You're playing something, you get bored of it, boom, home menu, choose the next one. And that's actually kind of cool. So even though I'm not about digital gaming, that one was pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, so like I want to play that too. I have both the God of Wars that came out on PSP on there. Was it Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. And I want to play those again. I've played them both. I think I beat Chains of Olympus twice already, Ghost of Sparta once. But it's been a while. I don't remember the story or anything, so I want to redo it. But there's another one that I just don't have time for. And I'm just like, oh, now I'm making it worse for myself with getting 2 jobs and I don't know. I mean, I guess on the positive side, my second job is ridiculously easy right now. And that is because I don't know when the semester started. Like, I just got started there myself. This is my second week. So I don't know what the semester was. All I know is my week I started, I thought that's how it would always be. It was super slow there. It was almost just me all the time in the area, and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is laid back. I'm just like babysitting this room. Well, there was also barely any cars in the parking lot, and I thought, oh, night classes. They mustn't have too many night classes here. Yeah, it's different this week. It's pretty jam-packed. Parking lot's jam-packed. The area that I work in isn't jam-packed per se, but there's a lot more employees. We had, me, the other guy, the supervisor, and 2 student tutors. So that's 5. Now, there was no 2 T's in there, so there was 5 of us, quote-unquote, working with nobody to actually work with, but still. And I was like, ah, dang it, is this how it normally is? But anyways, I don't know what the semester is, when it started, when it ends, but for now, there's not really anybody to tutor. And I just checked my schedule. I had nobody for today. I have nobody for Friday. I checked remote tutoring. I don't want to do remote tutoring because I feel like, first off, I'm a rookie in tutoring in general. I need somebody face-to-face that I can talk to and, actually be with and point at a book and stuff, not somebody that's over the phone, over the computer, I should say, doing this with me. Like, I feel like that's going to be way too hard. But regardless, it's an option. I'm pretty sure I have to offer it, even though I don't want to. But I'm pretty sure because through the school offers it, so I have to offer it as part of my offering. But anyway, so I checked that. Nobody's on there for Friday. I mean, it could change. Someone might sign up tomorrow like, oh, this guy's available. Maybe he'll take me, which I'd have to, which would suck. But, yeah, so anyways, for now, super easy. Basically, all I'm doing is just independent study. I mean, I graduated with my degree in 2015, and unfortunately haven't really done anything with it because nobody's ever hired me yet. So everything that I knew kind of has faded. I don't use it in my day-to-day job in my engineering. I do basic math. Well, sort of basic math in my day-to-day job. Yeah, I come up with complicated formulas, but like it's all easy at the end of the day. You just have to make sure the formula is structured properly, but otherwise it's like basic addition, subtraction, multiplication. I don't use calculus or anything. And yeah, I also have spreadsheets. So after I build these formulas out, they just go into a spreadsheet and they live there forever. And then whenever I need to access said formula, I go to the spreadsheet, make a copy of the spreadsheet, title it whatever project I'm working on, and just plug in my numbers. Boom, bam, done. I don't have to think anymore. So it was a one-time think job, and then that's it. So I'm kind of rusty on some things. But yeah, some of the topics they had me sign up for, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. And some of them I was kind of like, I don't know. But my supervisor was the one that signed me up for the classes that he thought I could tutor. So some of them were ones that I had, but like, I don't have confidence in them. I had them once. Like, for example, one is statics. I had statics once in college. Now, if I recall, I did okay. I don't think I did great. I think I got like, a mid 80 in that class. So, not terrible, like an 85 or something. Not terrible, but also not mastered. It's not like I got 100 in the class. So, and I don't remember any of it. So what I'm doing right now is just kind of like independent study. I'm going online. They don't have statics books there because that's kind of, specific to engineering. And the school I'm at is more of like a general education type place. It's a stepping stone. It's a community college, actually. Duh, I should have just said that. So, you go there to get the basics done and then carry on with wherever you want to specialize. But anyhow, they don't have statics books, so I'm going online, but I'm looking at the problems and examples, and I'm like, geez, I don't remember any of this. Like, I have no idea how to approach this. What I was doing previously was I was independent studying pre-calc, because pre-calc is the highest level that I said I would do. Calc 1 isn't that hard. And ironically, when I took Calc 1 in college, I took it at the same time as pre-calc, and I actually scored better in calculus than pre-calc. Now, granted, I tried harder, but it's just funny looking that you take both classes at the same time. And the class that's the prerequisite, I did worse in. Like, I think I got like an 87 in pre-calc, but like a 93 in calc. But anyways, I remember calculus is pretty easy, but I didn't want to like try to bite off too much than I could chew, or whatever that phrase is. So I figured I would rather just do tutoring with what I can do now, pre-calc and under, like the easy math, if you will, quote unquote. That's why I said it that way. I'm supposed to be in air quotes. You can't see me right now, but I even did air quotes. But anyways, so that's what I'm thinking, is master those, and then, or not only master those, but also once I feel a little more comfortable with them, they don't even have to be mastered, but I can start studying calculus and at least getting stronger with that, and then maybe I can add calculus to my offerings as well. But for now, I figured, just in case. Don't want to try to get too deep. I'm supposed to be able to help these people, not be confused. So anyways, I was looking at pre-calc because I figured if I can figure out this pre-calc stuff, all the other math underneath I'll be able to do just as fine as well, If you can do pre-calc, you can do algebra. So I'm looking at it though, and I'm like, oh yeah, this stuff, like, I don't recognize it offhand, but after looking at it, it's easy. Like, it comes back to me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, or I can figure it out based on the examples. But this static stuff, I'm like, okay. So I'm like, yeah, I should switch my focus from pre-calc to statics for now. Pre-calc, I think I have enough of a handle on that I can figure it out. Statics, I got no idea. So if somebody comes to me and they need statics help, sorry, bro. I know it's on my listing, but I can't help you. So I need to change that. I need to at least get to a point where maybe I'm not a master at it, but I can at least kind of walk my way through, and maybe together, me and the student, we can like think it through and figure out the answer. You know what I mean? That's like how far I need to get. Like right now, we'd both be sitting there like a bunch of idiots, like, I don't know. So, but any mother effing ways. What was the whole point of that tangent? How'd I go on that tangent for? Talking about pre-calc and I don't know. Well, anyways, to try to bring it back to the main point, I guess. Yeah, so I'm just busy, and like I don't know, I don't like it, but then it's weird because at the same time I'm like, being busy is what I'm all about. Like, I don't want to waste time. That's why I always do stuff on the side. Like before, when I wasn't doing something professional on the side, I used to work at a Dunkin's, or I worked at a McDonald's. Well, McDonald's was a little bit different. I kind of needed that job, but when I worked at Dunkin's, I didn't really need it. It was just so that then I could feel productive. I used to come home after work and just make myself something for dinner and watch a TV. Then after that, I'd throw a movie on or something, and I felt like I wasn't productive. I was basically just wasting time. And I didn't like this. That's why I got a job. I figured, okay, this is more productive. A, it's productive for the company that I'm working for. You know, they have an employee there so that way then they can stay open later. And B, it's more productive for me. I'm doing something with myself instead of just wasting time watching TV. Also, I'm making a tiny bit extra money. I mean, the Dunkin's I worked at was a piece of crap owner, so he made it so that his stores couldn't get tips either. So, but wasn't getting tips, and I was getting base minimum wage. So it's not like I was making a whole lot of money, but at least it was something, $100 a week or whatever it was. But yeah, and then I left that. Well, actually, I eventually got fired from that. It's a goofy story there. I didn't really do anything wrong. It was just a miscommunication amongst management. But then, since the communication amongst management happened after upper management fired me, it was too late, and it was like, whatever, I don't care anyways. I don't want the job. I only hung on to it just because at the time, the manager was my friend, so I was hanging on to help her out, because that was during COVID, when you barely had any staff. So when I got fired from her boss, I was like, yeah, whatever. I've been thinking about quitting for the past year and a half anyways, so she did me a favor, because otherwise I'd still be coming here and still hating it. But anyways, after I got fired from there, I kind of, I don't know, that's why I started my YouTube channels, actually. Because it was, well, actually, that's a couple of reasons. One was to have something productive to do. But two, it was because, my brother was giving me the doubles of sports cards, and I don't care about sports cards. So, I'd keep them just because he gave them to me, but I didn't care about them. I just threw them in, this storage bin type thing that I have in my living room. And then that's when I thought about making the YouTube channel, because I was like, wait a minute. He used to watch, maybe he still does, I don't know, but he used to watch, was it Dapp's Family and something else, the former Yankees pitcher or something. He's got a YouTube channel as well, and they open cards. Now, granted, they open expensive cards, so that's why they get views and all this, but still, they had 27,000, 30,000 subscribers, and I was like, this is weird, boring content, but apparently enough people like it. So then I thought, well, maybe these stupid cards he gives me, I can get something of it. I don't think I'm going to hit 20,000 subscribers, but maybe 1,000? I don't know. Still not there. I'm only on 106 after 3 years, but I also don't do cards anymore. But anyways, that's why I started, to give that some purpose and to give myself some purpose. And then, well, it ended up blowing up into 4 channels over time. So then that brings even more concern as to me being busy, because now it's like, okay, I got 2 jobs, 4 YouTube channels I'm trying to run. Geez, I even do TikTok, which I have a lot of TikTok ideas, and for some ironic reason, I just don't get around to them. I say ironic because TikTok's short and easy. 3 minutes. Actually, now the longest you can do is 10 minutes, so it could be not so short and easy, but I feel like if I'm going to do long-form content, I'm not going to do it on TikTok. I'm going to do it here on YouTube. So for me, 3 minutes was good enough. It was a lot easier than 1 minute. 1 minute was too much pressure to power through that. But anyways, I don't even have time for that, though, somehow. I don't know how. I just don't. But, yeah, so it really cuts into all my free time, between working, then come home, and I'm like, well, I guess I gotta make a new video so then I can appease any fans that I have on YouTube. I know one of my channels, I got a couple of fans. It's my audiobook channel. The book I'm reading now, there's a couple people that always leave comments about how they like the story, they like how I read it, and this and that. So then I feel obligated, I gotta read the next chapter for them to keep them happy. And so then it's more pressure, and I don't have time, and I don't know. And then at the end of the day, I feel like it's all about trying to just be financially secure and have a better life. That's also partially why I do the YouTubes, hoping that maybe I can get big enough that I can monetize and maybe have some sponsors or something, and then I can make a little extra. Obviously I don't think I'd make a lot. You have to have 4,000 subscribers to be able to monetize. 1,000 subscribers with 4,000 hours watch time a month or something like that. So some of my channels I'm getting close to the watch time per month, but I'm nowhere near the subscribers. But anyways, I think, well, even if I hit that, I'm not gonna pull in too much. At 1,000 subscribers, you're not gonna be making too much. You're gonna make $1 a week. But still, it would also make it more worth my time. All of this right now is for free. I do this 100% for free. There's no sponsors, there's no live streams, there's no Patreon, there's no nothing. Because I can't, I'm too small. Who's gonna sign up to my Patreon? Give me $5 a month, one person. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. It's all about like money as well. And then I don't know, I think about like my main job. My main job, I like it. I like what I do. I like most of the people I work with and stuff. I say I like most of because I don't work with everybody. So maybe there's somebody out there in the plant that's a total dickhead and I wouldn't like. But since I don't work with them, I don't know. And then there's some people that I'd say neutral with. I see them a lot. Like one of the department supervisors. I see them all the time, but like we don't really talk. It's just a weird stiff situation. We just kind of pass each other and you know, there's no camaraderie, but there's no hate either because there's no reason for hate. It's just kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, but I've been thinking about leaving there because one, it's basically like a dead-end job. You know, I didn't go to college for a dead end. I went to college for a future. You know, when I first started school, I dreamed about having a better life, you know, getting a house someday, having some sweet cars and all this. I wasn't thinking, ooh, maybe I'll do all this, go to college, have all this debt and stuff, and then just end up with a dead-end job. Pays me a flat rate for, you know, ever. And then I can maybe put in tons of overtime, go in on the weekends, and it won't matter at all. No appreciation, no recognition. Oh, that'd be sweet. Like, I don't want that. So, and also, I've done extensive research into my field and stuff and into my area. And I am underpaid on, like, the low end by, like, 50%. I should be making, like, 50% more than I'm getting paid. So I'm like, geez, that's ridiculous. Like, you know, when they talk about competitive pay, yeah, my place ain't competitive. Which, I know this because now that I work there, I know how cheap they are. They try to lowball you as low as they can. And they hope you say yes. And if you say no, then either it's, well, we don't need you, or they offer you a tiny bit more and hope that you'll bite at that. They're fucking cheap where I'm at. But anyways, so yeah, I don't like that. Like, I want to be, what I would like to be is part of a company that A, pays you actually competitively, pays you pretty well for what you can do and your experience and all this. B, I want extra effort to matter at my company. You know, if I'm putting in all this extra effort, overtime and weekends and, you know, coming up with cost-saving strategies and this and that, I want it to be recognized and, you know, appreciated some way. Whether it's a bonus or a nice raise or some kind of a plaque or maybe all three or something, you know? Like, there's things at my company that I could do to save them some money. Like, one is, every time we have tooling that needs to go out for replating, I just send it out. I'm not going to waste my time. For what? To not be recognized for my efforts? But technically, what I could do is use copper sulfate. Is it sulfate? I think it's sulfate. Copper sulfate. I could rub some copper sulfate on the parts and find out how their plating is. Do they need to be replated, or do they still have enough chrome on there? You can tell because the liquid is blue. If it turns brown, then that means, yeah, it needs plating. And if it stays, if nothing happens, then that means there's enough plating. So I could do that, but I'm like, why? Why am I going to waste my time and effort to potentially save you money on tooling rework, which over the course of a year really would add up? We send out a lot of stuff. I mean, we send out like $10,000 worth of stuff a month. So you're looking at $120,000 a year just in rework. And I could probably cut down on a lot of that, but I'm like, why? All that's going to do is put more money in their pocket. They're never going to appreciate or recognize what happens with me. They're not going to notice, hey, how come tooling is cheaper? Is it because we're sending out less? And then I can tell them, oh, no, it's because I do this, and it's going to get recognized. No, even if I told them, it don't matter. I would never see anything. I mean, geez, that's actually how pathetic it is. Nobody would even know that I do the copper sulfate test unless I told somebody, because nobody cares. Nobody pays attention. Like, it just would never get noticed, ever. And like, I don't want that. I'm not saying I gotta have somebody recognizing everything I do, like some kind of toddler or something. But I'm just saying, like, you know, it feels good to be recognized for what you're doing, especially when you're trying to do good for your company. Hey, I'm doing this to save you money. Oh, cool, thanks. You know, here's a bonus check. It's a 4-week pay month this month, but here's a 5th check anyways, just because you've been helping us out. Oh, cool, thank you. And then it's like motivating for you to keep doing that and maybe find more things that you can help them with. But nope, not this company. And like, I don't know, then you have, it's a family-owned company. Right now it's on the 3rd generation of owners. And the 4th generation, his son works there, and the kid is just, I think I've made a cast complaining about him before. He's a kid, all right? He's like 23 years old. He has absolutely no life experience, no nothing. And he's just so annoying and gets on everybody's nerves. Like, everybody's talking all the time how they want to punch him in the throat. And I'm saying, yeah, he's just going to lead to everybody quitting. There's going to be no employees left because we're all going to leave one day because we're sick of his crap. Because he's just annoying. Like, he does stupid things without consulting anybody because he doesn't know what he's doing. He just makes dumb decisions on the fly, like with a customer, and then makes it other people's problems. Like today, there was an incident, well, actually, it's from yesterday. He told a customer that we could do something, but we can't. And so then the people who actually do know what they're talking about got with the customer and said, sorry, we actually can't really do this, or at least not that way. And at that time, there wasn't a discussion yet as to how the right way should be, so they kind of left it at that, but they just wanted to make the guy know, like, hey, don't get your hopes up. This other moron jumped the gun and said, oh yeah, we could do that, without consulting anyone, and without knowing what he's talking about. So then, yeah, he comes down afterwards, though, and he's like, oh, well, just because blah, 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 you know, I don't know, just because we can't do that, try to offer them something else, offer them something comparable or something, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, look, dickhead, why don't you do it? I mean, this wasn't for me to do. He wasn't talking to me. He was just talking to the salesperson that's within my area, so obviously I can hear this. It's not too far away from me. But, like, it's just like, dickhead, why don't you do it? You made the problem. You told the customer we could do something that we can't do. Like, don't make it sales problem now. Like, own up to it. You had no problem running your mouth telling them that we can do something we can't do, but now you can't fix it. Now it becomes someone else's problem. Or like that one time with the quote with me. So I do the accounting quotes for the customers, and it first goes down to sales for them to process it. Then they send it to me to get the numbers on that, and then I give it back to them, and then they handle it from there. So anyways, the quote didn't come to me until, it was a Tuesday. It didn't come to me until 4:13 p.m. Well, technically, that's out of hours. Our business hours are until 4, so technically that's outside of business hours, and I didn't do anything with it because I'm not going to. It's outside of business hours. I'm done for the day. Even if I'm still there working, technically I'm done. I'm not going to start a new project, you know? So I got to it on Wednesday. Well, it required some pricing from an outside vendor. Well, this outside vendor usually takes 24 hours to get you the pricing. Which isn't bad. That's pretty quick overall, all things considered. So anyways, I get that shot out. So that's Wednesday. Now Thursday, still waiting on that pricing to come in. But now he's starting to be annoying to me. Oh, you got that pricing yet? No, waiting on our vendor. Oh, maybe give him a call and see how it's coming along. And it's just like, I'm not going to do that. Like, they're quick. It'll be here sometime today. Calm down. It's just annoying. It's like, you know, because why was he being on me? Because he told them, oh, yeah, we can have that to you by Thursday. Don't consult anybody. Don't ask how long it might take to get this done. Nope, just make up a timeline on the spot and then just try to make everybody follow that. Oh, okay, well, yeah, I guess, maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was Wednesday. It was the very next day maybe he was bugging me for the thing. I'm trying to remember. Because I'm thinking of when it was time for me to leave. I don't think I had anything, so maybe that was Wednesday. Because if it was Thursday, then I'd have to go to get my daughter. which means I could have just left on time and been like, F you, I gotta get my kid. But I did hang around, so maybe it was a Wednesday. So yeah, I got it Tuesday. I didn't start it until Wednesday, and then he was bugging me on Wednesday, so then he could get it out. Oh, they wanted it by end of day today. Okay, cool. And who did you consult to make sure that this was actually doable? Nobody? You know, you just, oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I can have it for you today. It's just annoying. And I'm like, geez, like, I think if I'm still at the company, which I highly doubt, but hypothetically, if I'm still at the company by the time his dad's ready to retire and he takes over, it's like, I'm not gonna work for him. I'm either well, actually, I always thought if I'm still there and this happens, which I probably won't be, but if I was, I'd go in and be like, okay, you're the one running it now, here's what's gonna happen. First off, I need you to lay off of me. You've been annoying all along before with the lights. The lights. He bugs me every day about turning off the lights because downstairs in my area, you know, there's only a couple of us that are down there. So it's always with the lights. And I hate it. It's like, yes, I know, the fucking lights. I've been turning the lights off before I leave since before you even started working here. Okay? When I first started, the previous engineer told me, oh, hey, before you go, just make sure you check all the lights. So I've been doing that now for 3 years. I don't need you to remind me every single night. It's so annoying and dumb. It's like, if you're so worried about the lights, why don't you shut them off then? Don't tell someone else to do it. You do it. Then you can be sure, hey, they're done. I shut them off. So annoying. But anyways, yeah, and like all their dumb things, like the quote I was saying, how he was annoying about. So anyways, if I'm still there, I'd be like, here's the situation. One, I need you to lay the fuck off of me. Alright? Now that you're the one in charge, I feel like you're just going to get worse. Because prior, when you weren't in charge, and you were second in charge apparently, you were very annoying about things and very unrealistic and reasonable. You need to understand proper timelines and stuff, okay, for one. For two, stay off me on things. I know. Not to sound like a dick, but I know that I'm much smarter than you. I don't need to be constantly reminded over juvenile, petty things like turning off the lights. Yes, I know. I'm going home, I see a light is on, I'm smart enough to know to turn it off. I'm like, and third, which might negate the first two depending on how this goes, we need to negotiate a significantly better pay. Especially if I'm going to be working for you now. And I phrase it that way because you have deserved and you have earned nothing in life other than you have a last name, and so that gets you what you have now. If you can't work with me about better pay, then you can forget about having an engineering department, and then you can see how your company runs without engineering. Your choice. But I don't think I'll be there long enough for it to get to that point because I'm already looking at jobs. I've applied to one. They got back to me and said, oh, we found a better suited candidate. I'm like, who's a better suited candidate than me? Are you serious? I'm not trying to sound smug, but like, we live in a little, you know, quiet corner, so to speak, nestled in the corner of the state. Like, I highly doubt there's that big of a talent pool with people that are better qualified than me. Like, no, nobody's better qualified than me. F you. I think what happened was, I applied to this place through LinkedIn. Oh, not LinkedIn. What's it called? Indeed. I don't know why I always get them confused. Indeed. So anyways, I think what happened was, my Indeed resume is out of date. And so I think, even though I attached my actual resume as a hard copy, I think they probably just saw the Indeed one and they were like, oh yeah, this guy's way out of date. But if they would have looked at my actual resume that I attached, they would have saw that I have, not only do I have, but I very much exceed the minimum qualifications that they're looking for. So I am a great fit for you, stupid company, but whatever. I'm not in a desperate position for a job, so whatever, decline me, that's fine. But anyways, I found an ad for another company that I can apply to, so I'm probably going to be doing that very soon. Again, I'm not desperate, and I'm even going to say that in the cover letter. But still, I'll try, see what happens, who knows. But yeah, anyways, super long story short, I guess, that I'm trying to get at is just, I've been thinking about leaving that company just because I know I can make more. And what if I find a company that's going to pay me? I mean, the one that I applied to was the pay would have been 60% more than I get now. 60! Like I said, I'm being underpaid by 50%, so I would be making what I should be making, and then a little bit more if I got that job. Like, that would have been great. And I feel like it would just be so life-changing as well to make that much more money. You know, like, even if I just saved it, that would be a lot of money that I could save in a year. And it would lead to changes. It would be a big down payment towards a house within a couple of years. Give it 2 years, I could have like close to $100,000 probably in the difference that I'd be making. And then go put that towards a house, boom. $250,000 house now is $150,000. Like, it went from seeming costly to seeming reasonable, and I could probably get an easy enough mortgage for that. And so, yeah. So I think about that too. Now, I wouldn't quit the tutoring because that's something I want to do as well for personal enrichment, but having a much more solid day job would really make things a lot easier and better. Oh, then I complain about like being busy and stuff, and it's just part of what I think about. Like, yes, I do want to make more money, but then I'd still be doing this tutor thing, and like, I don't know. I think about like the company, I would like to leave it. Like, I just said all those reasons why. But then at the same time, it does kind of work out for me. Like, I feel like what I do is fairly easy. Like, there's enough people there that are knowledgeable that even if I screw up, chances are they can figure it out before it even comes back to me. And if there is a screw up, it's easy enough for me to figure out what needs to be done. A lot of it's derivative, so that really helps make things easier. There's no real thinking involved. And even though we're a mold company, for the most part, like, I design tooling to fit into existing molds. But if we need a new mold, I don't have to do any of that. I send a vendor our part file, and they go to town and make the mold for us. So it's like, relatively speaking, it's an easy job. I don't mean to undersell it, make it sound like it's super simple and anybody can just do it. All my years of experience help me be able to do this and think it's easy. But compared to what I have had in the past, this is much easier, is what I'm trying to say. Like, my first company was a lot more harder. We made the molds there, and like, we were such a small company that I had responsibilities for a whole bunch of positions. I was essentially the purchaser, the BOM specialist. I was in charge of checking stock in the plant. What else? So I was engineer, I was drafter, I'm just trying to think of my past companies where all these positions were split up. I was engineer, drafter, purchaser, BOM specialist, sometimes shipper, not very often, but once in a while I'd have to box something up and get it ready for shipping and get in contact with whoever I need to get in contact with. So yeah, in comparison to all that, my job now is so much easier. Purchasing, there is a purchasing department. Shipping, there is shipping. Whatever else I said. Well, I guess I still would be engineer and BOM and all that, but it's different now. Our BOMs are tiny now. This company, the BOMs were huge. Like, it was like my second company, my last company I was at. We had people dedicated just to the BOMs because they were so big. And that was kind of like my first company. Only I was doing that on top of making the prints and sometimes doing designs as well. But anyways, so yeah, I like how it's easy. I like how it's close to home. Well, not only close to home, it's close to where my daughter's mother lives. Like, I know that might sound silly, like, what does that matter for? But, for the longest time, for what, 4.5 years? Jeez. Yeah, for about 4.5 years of her life, I was working far, and like, these rides to go get her were ridiculous. It was like an hour and a half just to get back to town, and then another 20 minutes to get on the highway and get to where her mom lives. You're looking at like an hour and 50 minutes on the days that I had to pick her up just to get her. And that was just picking her up. Then there's another 20-minute ride home. So altogether, by the time from leaving work and getting home after picking her up, you're looking at 2 hours and 10 minutes. That sucked. Now she's literally 10 minutes down the road. Take a 10-minute ride down the road to get there. Her mom usually talks to me for like 5 minutes about some kind of nonsense, whether it's something in her personal life that she just wants to complain about to somebody, Or it's something about her, oh, your daughter did, she blah, 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 some stupid thing that she's tattling on her, and I'm just like, okay, cool, she's a kid. I know, this is what they do. But yeah, usually something quick, and then I'm out of there. 10 minutes to ride down, and then probably about 25 minutes to go home, because like my job's like 15 minutes from where I live, plus those 10 minutes, but it's not bad. Round trip is, 35 minutes? Way better than 2 hours and 10 minutes. So that's what I worry about too. I'm like, I don't really want to throw that away. I don't want to have to find a new job and then say it does pay me a lot more, but it's further. Like, I don't really want that at this time. I want to be able to have these short rides. So I don't know. And it helps just in other areas too. Not only is it a nice short ride, but it helps with gas, helps with wear and tear on your car. My last car, my Cadillac, that was one of my first T4Casts I made, talking about how it died and it was unfortunate and I wish I still had it. But part of that was all that crazy driving just for work and stuff. Now going down the street, it's doing nothing. I get an oil change like once every 4 or 5 months because I barely add miles on and, gas. I can go 2 weeks on a full tank, and a full tank is, it's about $50, but still, 2 weeks on a full tank. Under normal driving. I mean, now it's different now that I'm doing the tutoring stuff as well. I'm basically going through like a full tank of gas per week, so that kind of sucks, but I guess it is what it is for like professional enrichment. Personal and professional enrichment. But still, like, overall I'm just trying to say I like how it's easy, I like how it's close. I don't really want to throw that away either, because this ties into something else that I have plans for my future, which is, like I've mentioned before, my political career. What the heck is going on? I don't mean to do a weird juxtaposition there saying what the heck's going on, but like I said, I usually make these while driving, and my car keeps pulling to the right, or at least it feels like that. I don't know, maybe I'm an idiot and not paying attention. I was trying to scratch my back, so maybe I accidentally pulled my steering wheel myself and didn't realize. But anyway, as I was saying, politics. I do want to get into politics. I have ideas for what I'd like. Before I was talking about trying to be in the House of Representatives. I only chose the House of Representatives because Senate would be better. Senators are like the higher position, more power, more prestige, I guess, if you will. Oh, Senator, oh, Mr. Senator. Nobody really cares about, oh, Mr. Rep. But I felt like at the end of the day, you have a better chance of winning as a representative because there's more. There's what, one from each county, or it's not county, but district or something. Like, I think my state has six districts, so that means there's 6 reps. But every state just has 2 senators, which means it's a lot harder to win a Senate seat than it is to win a House of Reps seat. So that's kind of why my idea was to do that. And then I thought, anyways, if I did a good job as a rep, then moving up would be easy. Then if I wanted to be a senator, it'd probably be easy, because then I have that reputation as a representative, and then my area would vote for me to be a senator, and you just start small and work your way up. But anyways, I still do want to do that. And then, I kind of evolved my ideas bigger. I'll talk about those in a minute, but I'll just talk about being in the House of Representatives for now. It's on hold because I just think I want to focus on, my daughter while she's a kid, and be there for her and create a happy childhood as best as I can, and have memories and stuff for both of us. Memories for me and memories for her. I feel like if you get into the House of Reps and Senate and any kind of government, I feel like you're probably too busy. And that's something I never understand, is when these people in politics have young kids. I'm like, how do you even have time to enjoy them? I don't get it. Like, I know Ted Cruz, they're probably older now, like teenage or something, but still, he has a couple daughters, and I'm like, I don't know, like, where does he live? I thought he was from Texas, but then it's like he's from Utah or something now. I don't know, he must have moved. But I'm like, when you're in the Senate, though, isn't that D.C.? So that means you're away from your family, right? So, like, there's him, or there's DeSantis. I mean, he's just a governor. Well, not to downplay, I'm just saying just a governor. Like, most likely he lives in the state that he's governing. I mean, that would be weird. Well, not most likely, he is. Like, that would be weird if you are the governor and you live somewhere else. Hey, I'm the governor of Florida, but I actually live in Georgia. That would be kind of funny, though. Imagine someone wins a state and then they move, but then they're still the governor of that other state, so they have to, like, commute to their office. Well, obviously you'd have to commute, but you know what I mean, over state borders. I make policy for a stay-at-home living anymore. Isn't that weird? I can't even reap my own benefits. But anyways, my point is I guess it'd be easy enough for him to be able to go home at night, because they're just in the state. But I still feel like you got to be kind of busy, right? I mean, look at the president when you have a proper president, not this dickhole, senile moron that we currently have. But when you have a proper president, I mean, they're basically constantly working. And again, if you have kids, it's like, how do you have time to enjoy them? Like when Obama was in there, whatever his kids' names are, Sasha and Malia, I think, they were young when he first got in there. And I'm like, did he really have time to spend with them over those 8 years? Well, then again, his first term was all about vacations, constantly in Hawaii and all this. So I guess he had time with them then. But like afterwards, whenever he wanted to be serious, like, do you have time for your kids? Or is it just like, well, we're going to have to go with the White House nannies because I'm too busy, sorry. Well, maybe not. He did have his wife. She could probably hang out with them. I don't know. Then again, she was overly active for no reason, trying to come up with the school lunches and exercise programs and all this nonsense. So maybe she was too busy too. But her busyness was just stupid. At least his busyness was serious. He was supposed to be running a country. She's just a busybody. But anyway, so that's what I think about. That's why I did try to get into my local town politics, and I was a member of it for I don't want to say 2 weeks. It was 2 meetings, but they're spread out over the course of like 4 months. So I guess technically for 4 months I was in it. But then like they never invited me back, and it was just weird. And the weirder part is the leader of the party in my town, we follow each other on LinkedIn, and like he sent me a congratulatory message on something that happened, maybe when I got this tutor job. And it was just weird because I'm like, okay, so you kind of, I don't know. I guess there's no reason to have like bad blood, but it's just like you kind of unofficially kicked me out of the party. But then here you are still trying to be my boy and congratulate me. Like, okay, this is a little bit weird. But anyway, yeah, it's fine that they kicked me out, sort of. I mean, it's not. I wish I was still a part of it to at least get them, hear the meetings and get, like, some, backstory built, if you will. That way then when I am ready, I can be fully ready to go. But still, it made sense. The meetings were on nights that I have my daughter, and it's just like, I can't go to them. Especially not then. She was much younger than she obviously is now. Like, she was 8 when I signed up or something, 7. Like, a little kid's not, she's good. Like, I'm sure she'd be quiet, but still, that's boring for her. And when I don't get to see her all the time because I only have a schedule with her, I don't want to waste it sitting at a meeting, a town hall meeting or wherever they're held, so it was like, well, whatever, you kicked me out, but it doesn't work for now. But when she's older, I'm thinking, well, I can try to do this again at least then. Maybe she'll even join me. Who knows? It'll be a little thing for her to do as well. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to impose anything on her, any political views or whatever. So if she doesn't want to, cool. But if she does, that's also cool. Whatever, But still, I'm thinking when she's older, like, old enough to have her own life and stuff, 24 or whatever, got a job, got her own apartment and stuff, then maybe I can really try for this other realer stuff, try to get into the House of Reps. And then, now tying back into what I said I'll get into later, I'm going back to how I'm talking about how I'm always busy. I hate it. I want to have more free time to relax and read magazines and play my video games and stuff. But then I'm like, being busy is kind of what I'm all about, though. I mean, basically my whole life I have been overly busy, except for when I was a kid. But otherwise, as long as I've been like an adult, 18 plus, I've been busy. I used to work full time and I went to school full time. After I graduated school, I worked full time at one job and had a second job that was practically full time. I was doing like 30 hours a week there. Then it got even more psychotic. I was doing that same 30 hours a week plus my full time job, plus I was going online. I was taking online courses for a bachelor's degree. I mean, I only did one class a semester to keep it as tame as possible. But yeah, those days were some super busy days. Jeez, I'd be busy from like 7 in the morning, no, earlier, probably 6:30 in the morning until like 9 at night just for work. Well, not even, let's say 9:30 by the time I get home and stuff. And then I'd have to jump on my computer so that I can do some homework, check the assignments and all this, and those were some psychotic days. Think about it now and I'm like, I don't want to say I wouldn't be able to do it, but I sure wouldn't want to do it. I guess if for some reason I had to do something crazy like that, I could. But, oh man, I would not want to do that anymore. That sucked. But still, even after that, I still worked 2 jobs. You know, I'd have my day job, and then I worked my other job that I used to have, that I would work until, what? When did I get out? 10? At first it was midnight, and then luckily it got cut back for some reason to only 10. That was closing time. It was 10. But by the time I got out there, it was 10:30, got home, take a shower, it's 11, and then I got to go to bed shortly after so I can start all over the next day. So anyways, my point is I'm always super busy, and I'm super busy again between my YouTubes and working 2 jobs and all this. But, yeah, when she's older, I'm thinking, you know, I'm still going to be busy doing try to get into the politics. And then I'm thinking Ron DeSantis, you know, he's been pretty awesome for Florida. And I'm like, hey, that's something maybe I could do. He started out as a House of Representative member, and then he went and became governor of Florida. And now because he's awesome for Florida, everybody wants him as president of the country, which is kind of funny because they keep saying DeSantis versus Trump. And I think, I haven't seen any clips, but I've seen a lot of like thumbnails from Ben Shapiro and stuff. So I think DeSantis has officially proclaimed that he's going to run for president now. But prior to this, all along, it was just like people just cheering him on for something that he never proclaimed. It was kind of like a what do they call those stories? A fan fiction? Yeah, it was like fan fiction that everybody wanted. Oh, DeSantis for president. I know he didn't say it, but come on. But yeah, so I'm thinking, hey, maybe that could be me someday. Start in the representatives, become governor of my state. I mean, I feel like that's the way to do it anyways. You know, yeah, it's always like the best way that everybody wants is Trump's way. Just kind of announce it and then you win. You're president. Skip all the nonsense of working your way up. But I think starting small and working your way up like that is actually better. Then you can gain experience, gain connections, this, that. And then by the time you get to that top office, you know what's up, kind of. You know what I mean? Start in the House of Representatives, you get used to dealing with other political people and their nonsense and how to handle, you know, this party members, these party members, the rhinos, the dinos, if that's a thing, you know, Democrats that lean more Republican. I don't know. But, you know, deal with that, deal with how to make policy, deal with the public maybe reaching out to you to help them out with whatever issues they have. And, yeah, then you go on and be the governor. Now you handle your whole state. You don't just represent a part of it, because that's what representatives are, just a part of it. Now you're doing the whole state. Now it's me. I'm running the state. Now you can get used to making, like, more solid, more impactful, I should say, policy. You know, when you're running just a section, you know, it affects people, but just that little region, that corner or whatever that you're representing. But when you're the whole state, it's a little bigger. So now you can get used to that. Get used to, you know, make more connections and stuff. Now that you're a governor. And what have, maybe you get in touch with other governors. I don't know if governors talk to each other, but maybe get in touch with other governors, and then you build up those relationships. And then president. Now, you know, everything that you've done, you've built your way up. Now you're used to all the party members. You know who's who, with how to treat who, how to deal with this person, that person. You're used to running a state, so now you can basically apply that to the whole country, because it's like when you were a representative, you just ran a small portion of your state, and then you took over the whole state just fine. So now if you can do a state, you can do the whole country just fine. You know, you got all these connections built up. You have connections built with the governors already, so now that you're president, that just helps you to be able to more easily talk to these people that you've been working on becoming friends with anyways. And yeah, so who knows, maybe. Obviously president is really hard. I mean, governor's hard too. It's just like the Senate, you know, there's only one option. Well, actually, yeah, it's harder because there's one option. At least the Senate, there's two. Governor, there's one. But again, I feel like if you do good as a representative, then you can kind of have like that power that to not to sway people per se, like in a speech, but you know, actions prove your worth. So they could look back at what you've done and be like, well, you know what, he's been pretty awesome representing us, so yeah, maybe he'd be great for our state. Let's get him as governor. Then you tear it up, prove your worth to your state, and then you get this big reputation, just like DeSantis. And then the whole country wants you. So who knows? But still, if that stuff does happen like I plan, I'm still going to be super busy, you know? So, I don't know. Basically, everything comes down to, at the end of the day, a couple of things. One is financial freedom. My whole entire adult life, I've been relatively struggling. The job I have now, my day job, is the best money I've ever made, but it's still not where I want to be. I could and should be making more, as I've already said. And just a side note, I hope you can't hear this. I'm passing a trailer truck right now, so if there's like this loud whirring noise, my bad. It's just, there's a trailer truck. It should be cleared up now. I'm past it. But anyways, it's financial freedom. I make the most money that I've ever made at the job I'm at now, but it's still not where I want to be. I want to be able to get a house. I want to be able to have a few sexy cars. I've always dreamed of having like a nice muscle car, like an old something cool, like a 69 Challenger or something, and then have like a nice regular car, like a brand new Mercedes or Cadillac or something. Just a nice regular daily driver type car, so that if I'm going out with friends and or family, I have something nice to roll around town in. Or if I know I'm going to have a business meeting and there's chances are that I'm going to have to drive, take my nice car so that we can roll in style. And then I always wanted to have a truck. The truck doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be something nice and prestige. I mean, I'm not saying I want some piece of junk beater either, but just something casual. Just a truck. The whole point of the truck would be for a couple reasons. One, well, if I had a house, then it's good to have a truck, so that way then if I have to go to the dump, or if I buy something big like a new refrigerator or something, I can handle it myself. Obviously there's delivery options, but still, it's probably cheaper to just handle it yourself than have the delivery, because then you gotta pay the surcharge and all that. Another thing is like the truck would be for winter purposes. Maybe if I again have a house and I got a driveway, I can just slap a plow on it, boom, don't have to deal with shoveling my driveway. And the last thing is, again, winter, I'd want to drive the truck. I don't want to drive my muscle car in winter. I mean, that would be very dumb. And then I wouldn't want to drive my nice car that I'm trying to have for not special occasions, but to look respectable while I'm driving around. I don't want to drive that in winter and get it all full of salt and what have you. So you drive the truck, because that's what the truck's for. And then if you get stuck, you can pop it in 4-wheel drive, and hopefully that helps. And And then I know this list is getting a little bit long, but I also always envision being able to have like a project car. Not like an extreme project car, like a 92 Civic or something junky like that. But even like the car I have now, I have like a 2016 Nissan Altima. Like, I think this could be a decent project car too. There's enough that you could do to modify it and make it your own. And, add some rims, maybe make bigger size. I think the stock rims are like 17s, put them up to like a 19s or 20s. Low profile the tires, maybe lower it an inch or so, do a muffler and a resonator delete, tint the windows, put a good system in the car, maybe change the seats. Like right now I just have cloth seats, so maybe get some leather or bucket seats or something cool like that. And then find maybe a place that I could like change the color even. Like right now I just have like the super basic 2016. Did I say 16? I think I have a 15. I don't know what year my car is. It's 15 or 16, somewhere around there. But anyways, I just got the basic silver. Like that's what they all look like. So then if I do all this other work to customize it, then I could, do a paint job and just have something that, it was something fun that I made. It's my own. I always envisioned that as well. Like it'd be cool. And then the last thing, which, I don't know, I've kind of changed my mind. I don't remember if I made a T4Cast on this. I might have. But I used to think about getting a motorcycle. Now, I'm not a Harley guy. I'd be more like a street bike guy. But then, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know if I'd really want that. It seems kind of dangerous, Like I said, if I made the T4Cast, then go listen to that. You'll hear everything I think about it. If not, then I got to make that thing. But, yeah, I used to think about it. Getting one or having a dream of getting one, but now I don't know so much anymore. Probably not. But yeah, so I want to be able to do that. I want to also be able to save money, build up a savings. That way, then A, I have something to retire with, and B, I also have something that after I die, I can leave it to my daughter. Right now I have absolutely nothing. If I died tomorrow, I have nothing. Like I have my stuff, which I don't even have a will, because I don't know, you get the mindset that I don't need one now, but it's like, well, geez, I don't know, when should you make one? I don't know. Maybe I should just make one just to have it, just in case, because nowadays you never know. But still, you know, and I don't know, that's the whole point. That's why I do all this, to try to achieve that, and it just doesn't happen. I get no closer, and I waste all my time, and it just makes me think, like, I don't know, what should I do then? Should I just settle? Like, okay, I guess this is my life. I'm never going to reach any of these dreams and goals that I have, that I've had since I was like 15. So I might as well just give up and just try to enjoy life as best as I can. You know, not work so much and just go home and play my video games, because that's what I want to do. You know, not make these videos anymore, not just these casts, but videos in general for all my channels, just because it's taking up time that I could be using to play my video games or exercise. That's another thing. I do want to exercise a lot, but it's like I'm so busy I don't have time for it. It's like I make videos, I work. And then it's like, when do I have time to exercise? Once every other weekend? Oh yeah, that's really going to do a lot. I mean, I guess to a certain extent it's better than nothing, so maybe I would do something. I don't know. But I don't know. So that's basically all this was about. I just wanted to talk about how I'm super busy and just I don't know what to do. I'm trying to come up with a game plan and figure out how I can make this better. Because I don't know if I said this yet. This video has been made in 3 parts. Been done over the course of 3 days. The first episode was Monday night, then I did the second one Wednesday night, and now this part is Friday night. So I don't know if I said this yet in any of the other parts. But, crap, I forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Talking about being busy. Oh, wow, well, that's embarrassing, I guess. I just talked about this video being made in parts for nothing. Wow, totally lost my train of thought now. I don't know. But yeah, so that's why I wanted to make this, just to try to talk. Sometimes talking things out is like therapeutic, and it makes you feel better, and then you can figure it out. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. My YouTubes, I would like them to get bigger. That way then I can monetize them and all this, and you know, it wouldn't feel like such a waste of my personal time to make videos if I was able to make money. And I'd be making money, so that'd be cool too. It'd be an extra revenue stream, and it could be an easy revenue stream, because, you know, you make a video once, but then maybe it gets thousands of views. Well, you only made it once, you didn't make it 1,000 times, and yet it's getting tons of views. Well, thousands isn't really tons, but you know what I mean. And then it could be making money from that one time you made it, but it just keeps getting watched, so it's pulling in money for you. So there's that. But then I think, well, I don't know, if I get big, then it just becomes more of a burden. Like right now, I basically do my YouTubes just for fun. Like there's no pressure. Each channel is relatively small. I'm only at a little over 100 subscribers on each channel. This channel I'm sitting at, what am I at, 107? Then T Reads, my audiobook channel, I'm at 108. My pedo channel, I'm at 111, I think, and then my biggest is my Star Wars channel. That one's at 201 currently. But like, relatively speaking, they're all small. Like, it's not like I have a rabid fan base that's like looking forward to new videos to come out, like someone who's with 1 million subscribers would have. You know, you take one day off and the fans are like, where the heck were you? I was waiting for that upload yesterday. And you're like, geez, I just want to take a day off. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Then it's like you have to report to people. You got to go on Twitter. Oh, I'm not making a video tomorrow. And like, I don't know. Like, I'm also thinking about Rich at, what's his channel called? Review Tech USA. I recently discovered him, and I don't really know about all his other videos, but I like his series he's been making, hating on DK Oldies. He was making like a video every single day just talking about them, ordering products from them anonymously, like having them shipped somewhere different than his address just in case they were catching on. And then he'd review it, and like it's kind of funny, but it's also true. Like, he's exposing their nonsense and their lies. But anyways, I guess his daughter has some kind of illness, and she's been in the hospital. I forgot what he said it was, but I looked it up, and it sounds like something that is kind of like, oh geez. But anyway, so he hasn't been making videos. Now, he has somebody that's been making videos for him, but like, I don't really care about that guy. He does try, you know, he tries to be funny and stuff, but it's not the same. Like, I want Rich, I don't want this guy. You know, I came to the channel because of Rich, not because of this random guy. But anyway, yeah, like I'm thinking about him. Like he probably updates on Twitter. I don't follow any YouTube people on Twitter, but I'm sure he's updating on Twitter. And then he did make a video relatively recently just explaining why he hasn't been around. And it's like, you know, like I don't want to be in a position like that. I don't want to have to be in a spot where I'm like, oh, I got to tell people where I am. You know, I have a personal issue. I'm sick. You know, I'm sick. I've been ill, and I got to tell everybody I'm sick. I don't really want that. So, I don't know. Sometimes it makes me think maybe I should just quit my YouTubes before they do get too big. That was a weird inflection. I did the inflection in the wrong area. Let me try it again. Sometimes I think maybe I should quit my YouTubes before they do get... I don't know where the inflection's supposed to go now. You know what I mean, though. Before they do get too big. That's not right either. I don't know. But anyways. But then I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to quit either. I mean, at the same time, even though my channels are small, I have amassed over 100 subscribers on each channel. Like, that's kind of cool. Again, it's not a lot, but that's 100 people that saw my crap and they were like, man, what the heck? I'll try to stick around, see if this guy makes anything else that might interest me. You know, and that's kind of cool. Because what's even cooler is at the end of the day, my videos are super low budget. Like, they're all done on my phone. I record them on my phone, I edit them with my phone, and they're uploaded with my phone. You know what I mean? Like a lot of other normal YouTubers, they use their computer, they use like an external fancy camera, and then they transfer over the file onto their computer and edit it that way, and yada yada. Me, it's just a bunch of nonsense on my phone. So to get that many subscribers, I mean, altogether, when you look at it this way, that's 500 subscribers. That's potentially 500 different people that like my stuff. You know what I mean? Because each channel, I try to have a theme. So there could be somebody that discovered my audiobook channel, but don't know my other channels, and they subscribe. There could be somebody that likes Star Wars, my Star Wars channel, but they never discovered my other ones. So you know what I mean? That's potentially over 500 people all together that have discovered me, and they're like, yeah, I give this guy a shot. And then when you look at it that way, it's like, that's pretty cool. So I'm like, maybe I don't want to give up. I don't know. You know? I don't know. I like being busy, but I don't want to be this busy either, but I don't know what to do about it. And I can't quit my day job because that would be stupid. I don't want to quit this tutor job because this is something I've been trying to get for years, 8 years now. Actually, I didn't want to be a tutor. I wanted to have my own class, but whatever. I'll take the tutoring. Gets my foot in the door. It's just like the situation with, like I'm saying, how to start as a House of Representative person and then work your way up. Same kind of idea. I'll start as a tutor, and then maybe I can work my way up. I know one of the other tutors, he was talking to me the other night when we were leaving about how, you know, he had an offer once to, well, probably several times, but he was just talking about this specific example, where he had an offer to teach a calculus class on a Friday, and he was talking about how he wasn't a fan of that because Friday, it's Friday, like he wants to go home and relax and get ready for the weekend and stuff. But he was like, I did it because, you know, it's a 4-credit course, and, you know, the pay's pretty good. And I'm like, I bet it is. And then I was thinking, see, that'd be cool. Maybe someday that'll happen for me. You know, start small doing this tutor crap, but then maybe I get my own classes in between there as well. I mean, then I'd be even more busy, though, because I'd probably still have to be a tutor. I wouldn't be a teacher, because if I'm not mistaken, they offered it to him because they didn't have a teacher, and they knew he had the credentials, so they let him teach it. So I'm like, well, if that happened for me, now I'd have my own class and have homework to correct, but at the same time, I'm supposed to be tutoring. Ugh. But yeah, I guess that's all. I don't know. At the same time, though, even though I complain about being busy, like, I've gotten so used to this. Like, I make these casts while I'm driving. This isn't affecting my time. I'm just driving home anyways. So what difference does it make? I might as well make a cast while I'm at it. And you know, 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm driving home, or I'm driving to the plater like I usually do, and I'm just talking to myself. What is that harming? Same as my Star Wars videos I make. They're not really that much of an inconvenience. It's all about my Star Wars game. I play that stupid game, and most of the stuff that I record, I'd be doing anyways. I'm not going out of my way. Like, I record, like, when I unlock a new character or something and just show the playthrough of it. Well, I'd be unlocking that character regardless. So to record it isn't putting me out of my way. It's not like I'm like, oh, I had to budget time to play this stupid game. I'm playing it anyways. The only ones really that are putting me out of my way are the reading channel, my audiobook channel, and this one, the other content. At the same time, though, this one is, it depends on what the content is. Like, if it's my Pokemon card videos, I'm opening those boxes anyways. What the heck? Might as well record it and make a video. It's just when I do, like, something a little goofier, like when I made my, videos hating on Biden's nonsense or some of those other ones. Okay, you could say those are putting me out of my way because those are extra effort. Like, it's not something I would normally be doing. I don't know. I guess I just needed this time to vent a little. I'm sure nothing will change. I'm going to keep doing all these YouTubes. I'm still going to be super busy. And I'm just never going to have time to do the things I like to do, such as play my video games anymore. And I'm just going to turn into more of a video game collector than player. But I guess that's my mother effing life. So yeah, if you listen to this whole thing, then holy crap, thanks a bunch. Because first off, nobody checks these out. And second off, if they do, it's probably like they're like, oops, this is boring and stupid. My bad, didn't mean to click on that. And then they're right out after 10 seconds. So yeah, if you somehow actually made it this far, then cool, thanks a bunch. And if you don't already know from any of my other videos, until next time, I said see ya.